I've had a few people ask me over the years, what do I set my idle at on my engine? Well, I'll tell you, it depends on the engine. It depends on the setup. This is my 2-liter, and it's got double barrel carburetors on each side, so it idles extra smooth, and it has a Lighten flywheel on it. Now I generally, you know, the book calls out like 800, but it's pretty hard on an old engine to get it to idle down that low. You got a lot of vacuum leaks just in your throttle linkage and the throttle shaft on the carburetor if you're running a stock single carburetor. But it really depends on it. You know, you don't want it running at 1500, 2000, but the idle on this throughout my trip going to Michigan, it changed. I'm at 5,000 feet here, and when I got over there to Michigan, the altitude was different, the gas was different, everything was different. And every day I'd start it up cold in the morning, and the idle would be different. I didn't mess with it. I didn't change it at all. And I wouldn't worry about your idle speed. Idle adjustment, you know, sometimes your idle adjustment, okay, say for example, you have a stock heavy flywheel, or a heavy flywheel, okay? That momentum from having that heavy flywheel is going to allow you to make smoother starts and takeoffs from a lower RPM. You take that exact same engine and put a Lighten flywheel on there, performance type setup, maybe for one reason or another you decide to go with a performance. Now you can purchase one of those newer lightweight flywheels with 8 dowel holes, and it'll fit right on a stock crank with 4 dowels. There's only one hole that's offset in the wrong spot, but you try it a couple different spots and you'll get it. And they are supposed to be pre-balanced, so I don't know, if you're going to blueprint your engine, if you're going to have a high RPM engine, say, you know, over 5,500 or over 6,000 RPM, you probably want a professional balance and stuff. But if you're just changing out flywheels on an old worn engine, it doesn't make any difference. But if you go to that Lighten flywheel, it'll give you a little quicker throttle response. But when you're leaving a light or a stop sign, if you're not paying attention, especially when the engine's cold first thing in the morning, you know, you might kill it. Your clutch kind of becomes a little bit more sensitive. If you're going to put a new flywheel, you're probably putting a new clutch and pressure plate in it, and a lot of times you'll start killing the engine more. A well-tuned engine is much easier on the clutch, and when you have the right flywheel, it'll also make a difference. If you got one of those Lighten flywheels, and you may find you're having to rev it more and you're wearing your clutch more. I hope that makes sense. So just come up with an idle speed that you like, and don't worry about it. You know, you don't want the engine racing really fast, but if it's dying on you all the time. And there's another problem too in the wintertime, where if you live someplace where you have cold weather and you're kind of in a hurry, you should always warm up an air-cooled engine. But if you're in a hurry and you know you got to get to school or to work, whatever the deal is, you don't want that thing dying every time you come to a light for the first 3 or 4 miles, or a stop sign. So sometimes a little bit higher idle in the wintertime, you just have to fiddle with it and change it. But there is, in my opinion, as long as it works for you, don't worry about it. A little tip from TheEZGZ. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subbing. TheEZGZ out.